So good morning students, welcome back. Today we'll discuss some objective question from lesson first electrostatics. So let's start students. The first question. See, the question is on screen. A simple pendulum has length L and the mass of the bob is given a charge of Q. Okay. Students, we are given a metallic sphere that is said to be bob and its mass is given as small m. Okay. And charge Q. The pendulum is suspended between the vertical plates of a charged parallel plate capacitor. I will explain this. If vector E is the electric field between the plates, then the time period of simple pendulum is given by. We are given four options. I will explain the question. Okay, first of all, I am going to explain the question. What we are given? We are given two charged plates. One is positively charged plate. Okay. Other is negatively charged plate. Okay. And the second plate is earth because this is a parallel plate capacitor. Okay. And a simple pendulum is placed between the charged plates. Okay. This pendulum is executing simple harmonic motion, to and from motion. In that condition, we have to find its time period. And we are given the four options. See the first option. T equals to 2 pi root L by G. L is the length of this rope. Okay. T equals 2 pi root L upon G plus QE by M. Option C. 2 pi equals to root L G minus root G minus QE by M. T equals 2 pi root L upon root G square plus QE minus M whole square. So you can see the question and we are having four options. Out of these four options, we have to find one right option. Okay, so that is most important. This type of questions generally comes in JEE examination, NEET examination. Sometimes you can get nowadays in board examination. Okay, so let's start the solution. Now students, I'm going to solve the question. This we are given as a parallel plate capacitor. It is positively charged plate. Okay, and it is a negatively charged plate. We are given a simple pendulum that is suspended between two charged plates. Okay, very first force acting on this pendulum, its own weight. So that weight works downwards. Okay, weight is always works downwards perpendicular. Okay, now students, another force. Actually, pendulum is executing simple harmonic motion, to and from motion. It means it will experience a force that is F equals to QE, that is called electrostatic force. Force exerted by electric field. Okay, so this force exerted by on that pendulum, F equals to QE. Okay, it works as a centrifugal force. Now students, pendulum experience two types of acceleration. First of all, acceleration due to electric field around the pendulum, that is A equals to force by mass. Okay, acceleration is force by mass by second of motion, and we know pendulum experience force in electric field, and that force had to be electrostatic force. So F replaced by QE, and that is M. So this is the acceleration by electric field. Okay, this is the acceleration by electric field. Now another acceleration that working downwards, perpendicular downwards, that is gravitational acceleration. Okay, so we'll find net acceleration. What should be the net acceleration? Suppose that is G dash G square plus A square. I applied here law of vector addition. What is law of vector addition? I'm going to explain. Vector R equals to root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos of theta. Here angle is 90. This is the acceleration by electric field. This is acceleration by gravity. Are perpendicular. So here we'll take cos 90, and cos 90 is what? 0. So this part will be 0. So I'm going to use formula root A square plus B square. Root of A square plus B square. A square means acceleration due to gravity, G square, and B square means acceleration due to electric field, G square plus A square. Okay students. So now on account of this, I have written the formula. Now students, G square remains as it is. What is acceleration due to electric field? QE by M. So here I'm going to put QE by M whole square. Now students, pendulum is executing simple harmonic motion, and we know very well whenever an object executes simple harmonic motion, what should be its time period? Its time period is given by the formula T equals to pi root L by G dash. Root L by G, here we are having acceleration G dash. 2 pi root L. What is the meaning of G dash? G dash is the net acceleration that we found, root of G square plus QE by M whole square. So check that out of this 4, which one is the correct option? T equals to 2 pi. Okay. T equals to 2 pi root L upon root G square plus QE by ML whole square. Option D is the correct. So we got the answer. Option D is the correct. Okay. In this question, the important part is that pendulum experiences two types of force: electrostatic force and weight. And that's why two types of acceleration will work: acceleration due to gravity downwards and acceleration due to electric force. Okay. In that condition, we'll get net acceleration, and after applying the formula of time period, we'll get the result. So option D is the correct. Now students, question second. A charge capital Q is divided into two parts in such a way that they repel each other with maximum force when placed at a certain distance. Look at the word here, maximum force. Okay, when placed at a certain distance apart. He's asking, find the distribution of both the charges. So that is the important question. First of all, I'm going to explain the question, the language of this question. We are given, suppose, charge Q. It is divided in two parts. So let the first part is Q. So remaining part will be what? Capital Q minus small q. Okay. Out of Q, one is Q. So other should be what? Capital Q minus small q. So we have to find the value of these two. Okay. The distribution of these two charges. The important keyword is what? Maximum force. Maximum we are given. I will explain. Now these two charges. This is a charge Q and another charge is capital Q minus small q are placed at certain distance. So let the distance is smaller. Okay. Now it experiences the repulsion force, but that is the maximum repulsion force. So now we have to find the distribution of charges. So we know students, when two charges are separated with some distance, always experience attraction or repulsion force as per Coulomb's law. So I am going to apply Coulomb's law between these two charges. So using Coulomb's law, I am going to use here Coulomb's law. That is F equals to K Q1 Q2 by R square. That is the general form. Okay. Now students, F as it is, K as it is, what is Q1? The first distribution as small q. What is Q2? Second distribution, capital Q minus small q, and separation is R square. Okay. But now the important word, I'm going to use this maximum force, maximum, for getting maximum or minimum force. We are having the concept in mathematics, maxima or minima. For getting maximum force, there is a condition that differentiation of the force should be 0 with respect to charge. Differentiation of force should be 0 with respect to charge. That is the condition. Okay, here we are given charge. That's why we'll differentiate with respect to charge. That is the condition for getting maximum or either sometime minimum. Okay, that is the condition of maximum and minimum. So now I'm going to differentiate this term and we'll get the result. Okay. Now students, d by dq of F should be 0 for getting maximum force. Look the maximum force. Now students, differentiate d by dq. What is F? That entire value k small q capital Q minus small q by R square, and it should be 0. Now students, k and R square constant come outside. K R square d by dq. constants comes outside. K and alpha is constant, there will be no differentiation, it come outside, and differentiate of small q, capital Q minus small q, and 0. Look, 0 by k by r square, 0 by something, 0. So it remains d by dq of q and capital Q minus small q equals to 0. Now students, we have to use the formula of differentiation. We are given two components and that is in multiplication. We are having a formula. Look the formula, d by dx of a into b. If two components are in multiplication, first as it is differentiate of second, then second as it is differentiate of first. First as it is differentiate of second plus second as it is differentiate of first. On account of this, we'll differentiate this term. Okay? Differentiate of this term. First term as it is differentiate of second. Okay. Then second term as it is differentiate of first. Okay. 0. Now students, small q remains as it is. Here capital Q will be constant. Why? Because we have to differentiate with respect to small q. So for small q, capital Q will be constant, and we know the differentiation of constant is what? 0. D by dx of constant, it will be 0. On account of that, its difference should be 0. And d by dq of q, small q, differentiate of q with respect to q, it should be 1. I will tell you how. D by dx of x की power n. So n x की power n minus 1. On account of that, q having 1 power. So 1 q power 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 0 and q 0 means what? 1. In this way, differential of q with respect to q will be 1 on account of that. Plus capital Q minus small q as it is, again differential of q with respect to q will be 1 on account of this formula. Now students, we'll solve. Q into minus 1 minus q plus capital Q minus small q 0. Capital Q minus q minus q minus 2q equals 0. Capital Q equals to 2q. So what should be small q? Capital Q by 2. So if small q is capital by q2, we divided charge in two parts, q and q minus q. So if first is q by 2, second also will q by 2. So what will be the distribution of charges? Suppose you are having 4 options, q by 2, q by 4, q by 8, q by 16. So A will be correct option, q by 2. In this way we can find the distribution of charges. Now to question number 3. A charge q is placed inside one phase of a cube. Okay. Find amount of releasing flux through one phase of a cube. Okay. Look students, this is based on Gauss theorem. We did before. We are given, I am going to solve this question. Okay. Look, we are given a cube. Okay. In that cube, a charge is placed inside one phase. Suppose this is a charge. This is placed inside one phase of a cube. Okay. And he is asking find the amount of releasing flux through only by this single phase. Suppose we are having a cube. We can take example as a room. Okay. A room having 6 phases, 4 walls, roof and floor. So cube having the 6 phases. So whenever the charge is placed, it releases electrical flux. We know when we place charge in a closed surface, it releases flux. Okay. So when charge placed inside the cube, it having the 6 phases. So we can write emitting either releasing flux by 6 phases. how much flux will release by the 6 phases? We use the Gauss theorem. We know how much flux will release, Q by epsilon naught. But we have to find the emitting flux only by the one phase. So we'll write emitting, either we can write releasing. Okay. So emitting flux by one phase. Emitting flux by one phase. For getting one, we'll divide. It comes 6 epsilon naught. One phase will divide by 6, so Q by 6 epsilon naught. So the final answer is Q by 6 epsilon naught. Understood, students? Now question number 4. A charge is placed inside. Suppose charge Q. A charge Q is placed inside one corner of a cube. Okay. Find amount of releasing flux through one corner of a cube. Look, students, again it is based on Gauss theorem. This is the cube. Okay. And we are given that a charge placed, suppose that is charge inside corner, that is placed at inside corner, and he's asking find the amount of releasing flux by only one corners. We know very well a cube having 8 corners, 4 upwards and 4 downwards. So we can write emitting flux, either we can write releasing flux, emitting flux by 8 corners, that is Q by epsilon naught. I applied Gauss theorem, but we have to find releasing flux only by one corner. So we can write emitting flux by one corner. So there comes Q by 8 epsilon naught. For getting one, 8 will be divided. So finally we will get phi equals to Q by 8 epsilon naught. That much flux will release only by one corner of a cube. Question number 5. A charge Q is placed outside the one face of a cube. Okay. Find amount of releasing flux through one face of a cube. Look, students, I'm going to explain this question. This time we are given a cube, same. Okay. But this time charge is placed at outside face. That is what? Outside face. Okay, this charge. And we have to find releasing flux only by this face, only by this outside face. Okay. Students, when the charge is placed outside, look, I'm giving an example. Suppose this is the charge. Okay, this circle is what? This is the charge. Okay, and this charge is placed like outside face. This is the, suppose this is Q and this is the outside face. Charge is open. We cannot apply Gauss theorem. Gauss theorem is only applicable when charge comes in closed surface, when charge is closed inside the surface. So in order to close this, we have to assume Gaussian surface. Suppose that is another cube, we'll put like this. Okay, so this charge comes between two phases, first and this is first. So it will be two phases. Okay, so this charge will be closed between two phases. Okay, so what we'll do, students, we'll put another cube beside this. Okay, now this charge, I have given example, this charge closed between two phases. So we'll write emitting flux by two phases, Q by epsilon naught, but we have to find only by one face of a cube. So we'll write emitting flux by one phase. For getting one phase, it comes Q by 2 epsilon naught. So finally it will come as phi equals to Q by 2 epsilon naught. Okay, this is question number 5. Same like I'm going to explain the question number 6. Suppose you are given a hemisphere like this. Okay, why? You are given a hemisphere and a charge placed on its one face of a hemisphere. That is a hemisphere, and a charge is placed on its face, and he is asking find the amount of releasing flux. Same like this. Actually, charge is open. Okay, we'll put another hemisphere on this. This is called Gaussian surface. That is also said to be Gaussian surface. in order to close a charge, we assume a imaginary surface that is said to be Gaussian surface. So this is a hemisphere, will assume another hemisphere on it. So same like, suppose this is charge, a hemisphere will put one more hemisphere on it like this. So this charge will close between two faces. So same answer, emitting flux by two faces, Q by epsilon naught. We define only by the one face of a hemisphere. So emitting flux by one face, Q by 2 epsilon naught. So two questions and their one solution. Understood, students?